Most new adjusters think they'll make six figures their first year, and some do. But the truth is, it's just not that simple. It depends on when you get deployed, how fast you can work, and what kind of claims you're handling. But before you click away, today I'm going to show you exactly what goes into that very first paycheck. Because if you understand how income works at the claim level, you'll be way ahead of most rookies. I'm Matt with AdjusterTV, and with over 25 years in this industry and thousands of claims under my belt, I can tell you this: your success doesn't start with a six-figure dream. It starts with one claim. In this video, we'll walk you through the three biggest factors that determine how much you can earn per claim and give you a simple way to estimate your income on a storm. And this is just the beginning, because over the next few videos, we'll dig into what actually happens during deployment, the licenses that matter most for income, and how to avoid the rookie mistakes that crush your earnings, starting now. So how do adjusters actually get paid? Well, you don't typically earn an hourly wage. You definitely don't get a flat salary. Instead, you get paid a percentage of each claim that you close based on something called a fee schedule. Think of a fee schedule like a commission chart. Each claim has a total dollar amount, and your paycheck is a cut of that amount. The bigger the claim, the bigger your cut. Close a small $1,200 claim, and you might earn about $180, but close a $22,000 interior water loss, and you could be looking at $1,400 or more on a single claim. And that's why thorough, accurate estimates really matter. You're not just documenting damage, you are directly impacting your income. But how many of those claims can you actually expect to get? And this is where things kind of get tricky, because your claim volume depends on a few factors most new adjusters never really think about. But before we get into that, if you're watching this and wondering, am I actually really ready for a real deployment? There's a very fast way to find out. Take the Are You Really Ready for Hurricane Season assessment over at AdjusterTV.com/quiz. It's just 7 questions and it takes about 2 minutes. You'll get a personalized readiness report that shows where you're solid and where you've got some blind spots. Plus, instant action steps to fully get deployment ready. It's completely free, and you can grab it right now at AdjusterTV.com/quiz. So now you know how you get paid per claim, but here's the real question. How many claims are you actually going to get? Because that's what turns a decent side hustle into a serious income. The honest answer is that it kind of depends. Claim volume is influenced by a bunch of moving parts: the size and severity of the storm, how many structures were damaged, how many policies your carrier has in that area, and how many adjusters get deployed for that specific event. You cannot control those things, but here's what you can control. Firms will always give more claims to adjusters who are fast, accurate, and easy to work with. It is just that simple. If you're slow, unresponsive, or turning in sloppy files, the work's going to dry up. But if you hit your deadlines, you write clean and accurate estimates, and you treat homeowners like people, you will absolutely get more assignments. Now, let's talk about something that most new adjusters have never even heard of: deployment order. On big events, firms don't deploy every adjuster at once. They call people in waves. And the first wave, those are the adjusters they trust the most. Those are the people that they have experience with already. People who've worked for them before and built a solid reputation. And when you get that call early, you're not just getting more claims, you may be getting the best claims. So your reputation matters quite a bit. And speaking of claims, not all claims pay the same. Let's talk about the types of claims that you'll be handling and how that changes your paycheck. Do you know what the difference in pay is between a drain backup claim and a wind claim? Because it could be bigger than you think. Not all claims are created equal. Some are in and out jobs. Others can eat your whole day. So let's say you're working a hailstorm and you get assigned 5 residential roof claims. These are usually pretty straightforward. You're checking shingles, soft metals, gutters, maybe a fence. You can inspect and write most of these in under 2 hours each once you've got your rhythm down. Now let's say that one of those homes also has a roof leak associated with that storm. That opens the door to interior damages, drywall, insulation, paint, maybe even possibly flooring. Could be mold remediation or damaged contents. Suddenly you're not just scoping a roof, you're doing a full interior inspection and writing a much more complex estimate. That one claim could take twice as long, but it also might pay a lot more. Then you've got severe water damage claims from drain backup or hurricanes. These usually involve serious water mitigation work, removing wet material, drying equipment, maybe multiple site visits, a lot of vendor invoices and estimates. More time, yes, but the fee schedule bumps up significantly for those. But what about commercial claims? Those can mean flat roof systems, custom materials, extensive mechanical systems, or navigating building code issues. They tend to pay more because the losses tend to be bigger. They also take more time and experience to handle correctly, and you don't want to mess them up. The bottom line, the type of claim you're working affects not just how much it pays, but how long it takes to close that claim. And that affects how many you can realistically knock out in a single day or week. So when you're calculating your income, don't just ask how many claims you'll get, ask what kind of claims they're going to be. And remember, you don't have any control over that. So now let's put all this together and walk through a real world example, how much you might actually make on your very first claim. So let's say you're assigned a pretty typical hail claim. You've got a residential roof. It's kind of a mid-sized loss. So we'll call it about $12,000 for the estimate that you write. On a standard fee schedule, that kind of claim might pay roughly $600, which would be your gross. Now let's talk time. So maybe you can scope the roof in about 25 minutes. You can write the estimate in maybe 45 minutes and maybe spend another 15 minutes on the follow-up call to the homeowner to close this claim out, which is roughly about an hour and a half total. So $600 in 90 minutes, it's not bad, right? Now let's say you do 4 of those claims a day. That's $2,400. If you're working 6 days a week, which is pretty typical on CAT, that could be around $14,000 in a single week gross. Now, before you start booking a vacation, here's the small catch, okay? That $600 per claim isn't all yours. The IA firm is going to take a cut, usually somewhere between 25% and 40%, because they're the ones with the contract, the systems, the carrier relationships, and you're subcontracting under them. So on that $600 claim, your net might be more like $360 to around $450. Still pretty solid, but it highlights why claim volume is so important. You can't control what type of claim you get, but you can influence how many claims that you're assigned by being fast, accurate, responsive, and easy to work with. That's what we're going to start covering next, how the deployment itself really works and how to maximize your time in the field. Because here's the deal. It's one thing to understand the money. It's another to actually earn it. So what actually happens when you get deployed to a real catastrophe? How many claims hit your inbox? What's it like living on the road and trying to keep up with the workload? We'll break that down in this next video right here. And if you're serious about adjusting, you don't want to miss it. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great storm.